Hey guys, good morning. Just thought it appropriate just to quickly give you an update on about half a dozen things which are ongoing. Clearly with Marula, there's always a lot of activity, be it here in Kenya, up there in Tanzania, or down there in South Africa, as well as obviously in London with that audit process. So just thought nice and easy, quick few updates here across each and every one of those projects, just to give you a bit of a heads up. Nothing market sensitive, but just to give you comfort as to the direction we're going, the progress we're making behind the scenes, and so on. Obviously, whilst we are suspended from trading in London, that is not slowing down our operational activities here in East Africa, nor down in South Africa, which is where I was up until getting back yesterday. So a few updates to follow across all aspects of the business, and I really hope you'll find it quite helpful. Thanks. Okay, first up, let's get on to the subject of the Nairobi Securities Exchange. We're in the process of providing a series of updated information to our advisors, basically reflecting where we're at. We weren't able to list in July because we needed our financial accounts for the period ending 31 December. They're being finalised now, and I'll touch on that in regards to the audit process later, but we needed to provide them with our audited accounts. We need to provide them with some management accounts up to 30 June, which are in progress of being finalised by Martin down in South Africa. Updated CPR to include Larisoro, to include Kilifi, to include Northern Cape. Not major work, but just a brief summary of those projects. Updated legal opinion to take into account the legal title and legal structures that we have for those projects. So I think that's pretty much it for the outstanding information to the Nairobi Securities Exchange. On the NSE listing, an additional update that we need to provide is the no objection letter from the Equity Securities Exchange, confirming that they've got no issues with us doing a dual listing here. So that's a piece of paper that'll come through relatively quickly. So no issues with that. Fada Investment Bank have the submission ready. It's now just a case of attaching these updated reports. Jacques in South Africa is updating Blesberg, and we've got Collins here updating Larisoro. The reason we need to update them is they need to accurately reflect the current status of operations. So obviously tremendous progress is being made across both Larisoro and Blesberg, particularly with the TOMRA unit arriving there, particularly with the sales ongoing at Larisoro. Likewise at Kilifi with the plans there, which will kick in later this month. So NSE pushing ahead, and we're very confident that not only that it will go through, but given our increased exposure here in Kenya, will be very well received. Next up, let's talk about Larisoro. Fred has been a godsend to me, actually. I always knew it would be a great value coming in from the logistics, from just the general, his general presence, his no nonsense. So it's great to have him on logistics, procurement, and managing the whole sales process. Processes, because there's a number of processes for Larisoro. We're operating, we've got Chinese offtakes ongoing, so that's all very good. An update will go out probably concurrently with when we resume trading, just summarizing sales, revenue, etc., etc. So Larisoro, very happy with, not without its challenges, let's not kid ourselves, we've started up an operation there. In South Africa, discussed with Quinton with that being Tuesday, the planned expansion and just how his team can assist us to get that moving later this year. So Larisoro, as I said, we'll be pushing ahead. We've got more investment to make in an expanded processing plant, more yellow goods as they call them in South Africa, more plant and equipment to come up there as part of our expansion plans. We're very happy with the quality of the material. We've just got to get that moving and get it moving as quickly as possible. It was great to see Edu and the team with Scan Global with Kenya Railways basically go along that line which runs from Nanuki down to Nairobi and all the way through to Mombasa. Our opportunity there as we expand production to basically load it at Nanuki into containers which go all the way through to Mombasa. Massive saving on logistics costs. It reduces the rehandling of that material, it simplifies the process. So very excited about what Larisoro has for us. So quite keen to push ahead with that, and let's see what we see there. Okay. Okay, I've had some people ask questions on the F9 funding from Quinton. Obviously I caught up with him and his guys earlier this week, his whole team. That F9 funding is pushing ahead. I clearly have no control over that. It was always going to be a bonus. It's a massive bonus for us. He's wrapping that up now, and we're obviously clearly looking forward to that coming in, because he's already potentially earmarked that to assist in funding our capital development projects, plant, equipment, and so on and so forth. So yes, he's progressing that. He'd literally flown down when I saw him on Wednesday. He'd literally arrived that morning from Dubai. He's been in Dubai, he's been in Saudi, Qatar. Obviously he was in London dealing with one of the big funds there as well. So he's busy progressing that. He's very, very pleased with where he's at. I'm happy that he's got deeper pockets than even I thought he'd had. So a good opportunity going. Okay, next up, sorry about that, just had a quick do a call. Canusi. We've had Jana Van Wyk and Darren up there at Canusi with Edu and Maremi. We'd had an announcement drafted to go out, but we thought it better to get Darren. Darren's a specialist base metals metallurgist who actually reviewed Jana's first report. Jana obviously coming from Copper 360 and with her experience there in copper. So they've been up. We're going to be putting out an update on Canusi after they come back. I've got a meeting with them tomorrow morning. They get back late tonight from Tanzania. A long drive from Nairobi all the way up through to Dodoma down to Canusi. So they're coming back. We're sitting down, going through the formal development plans, which will go in parallel to the resource drill out that we've got planned there. They've also looked at some adjoining license areas as part of our consolidation in the area. In addition to what Jana's doing, what Darren are doing, we're also working with the guys at Fujax. They've got a copper cement specialist. They've been doing copper cement out of Zambia, actually. So been dealing with Chris there to assist us in our broader plans to get a copper cement plant in. Higher value, massively higher value compared to like a DSO. So we're pushing ahead on that. The update will provide much more information on just how fast and how much we're pushing ahead on that as well. So yeah, copper, very robust pricing at the moment, quite happy with things, but we clearly need to get an update out. That is best put out on the back of Darren there, reviewing it from a metallurgical point of view. I know they're taking some samples with them, but also Jana looking at the broader geology. Rich has done geology up there, geofields as well, now Jana. So we'll be very well positioned on taking Canusi forward. In addition to that, at Blesberg, you've clearly seen that, or we've clearly reported, the TOMRA unit, the 6 semi-trailer loads, I think have all now arrived. The actual TOMRA unit was the last one, which was due to get there, I believe, yesterday. So that is there. That is being upgraded. Rehab work on that in Springbok. There are some additional bits of equipment that have been flown in from the TOMRA team. That is there going to be completed on site at Springbok. Civil work starting at Blesberg, and then towards the end of this month we will be looking at its installation and commissioning there at Blesberg. So you've got that TOMRA unit in series with the Rados unit to allow us to basically produce both a spodumene, both a tantalum-rich kind of feed, as well as extracting the feldspar and other byproduct materials. Clearly, one of the things at Blesberg which we've referred to is the production of a high value product. The logistics challenges for bulk commodities in South Africa, it's a nightmare. As well as the rail and port issues, there is a massive shortage of containers, which is how we're selling the spodumene, how we plan to sell the spodumene, putting it in containers at site, transportation down to port. That is very, very hard in South Africa at the moment. Will it change? Yes, of course it will, because you've got a great new government, coalition government there that are addressing a number of things. However, at the moment, there are its challenges. We have embarked down a path of producing a higher value lithium product, one which will feed directly into battery manufacturing facilities in China, and we are busy pushing ahead on that. Our continued production of a spodumene tantalum rich feed coming out through the TOMRA out of the Rados, as well as producing a feldspar speed, is going to continue. Selling that product into the market. The end users in China, they actually want us a high value product. So that's the direction we said we were always going to go into, and we will push down that. But again, we're pushing ahead on all fronts. We haven't stopped one. We are pushing ahead on all fronts, because at the end of the day, we need to maximize the revenue. We need to maximize the earnings out of Blesberg as quickly as possible, because all of that gets invested back into our activities. Okay, so that's how we want to progress Blesberg. We want to be producing a multitude of minerals there because of that product suite. From the lithium side, there's clearly greater value producing a lithium sulfate, a lithium carbonate, a lithium hydroxide. One of those. Producing a feldspar, very simple. So Blesberg offers us a number of opportunities. We've got the final piece of the puzzle there with that TOMRA unit. Like I said, end of this month, installed, commissioned, as we move into October. So very well positioned there to start delivering as we had anticipated over the course of this year. Delays with that TOMRA have been unacceptable, beyond our control, well beyond our control, and I can't emphasize that enough. We've pushed, everybody's pushed, we've now finally resolved that. So we're very happy to have resolved that. We now need to push ahead, okay? So Blesberg, plenty of news, plenty of information to follow there in terms of the revenues, in terms of how we are going to operate that going forward. Clearly, we've just announced the mining permit issue. We had a mining contractor on site on Wednesday with Martin and Henk. We're going to push ahead with the open pit development whilst our mining right application is reviewed. And that allows us to really do more than just that clearly allows us to do more than just the processing of the stockpiles. So, we're going to push ahead with them. The CPR, once released, will give you a really good idea, not just of the lithium-rich mineralization that's there, the tantalum, the beryllium, the mica, the feldspars, and potentially the rare earths, which has now come up. And that's the amazing thing about Blesberg, that mineral suite. It's probably not surprising given Steenkamp's trial just down the road, but for me, we've got to focus and get the production of that high-value lithium product out as quickly as possible. And we're working with our offtake group on that now, and we expect to make a very good announcement on that forthwith. NCLT pushing ahead with that acquisition. Everything is in order there. Clearly, we need to do an updated quick CPR to be included as part of the NSE listing process, but that is proceeding. We've obviously got to do the whole legal structure there, the actual transfer of the shares and so on. That triggers those payments. We were expecting to get that by 31 July, but those final payments will go through then. Clearly meeting with Quinton, with AUO, etc. on those payments. No material issues there, so that's all good to see. What else on the NCLT? The tungsten, very excited about that. Jack's been there, he's walked the ground as well, as has Yana. Base metal opportunity, absolutely, but the key focus there will be that tantalum and tungsten mineralization, which we can see, and particularly the tungsten, which is one of those most critical of metals, and which the TOMRA unit can process very effectively. So that's Blesberg for you guys. Hey guys, last but not least, just an update here on the audit process. This week, the final partners review is supposed to be completed. They then move towards an audit closing meeting, and then the accounts are signed off and we're in a position to lodge them. So that final partner review's ongoing to be completed this week. So that's the latest there. No material issues. The only material issue here is that we've been suspended for the best part of 5 weeks, which, as everybody knows, is completely unacceptable. You will see post-listing how I have addressed that, and it has been something which, you know, for me, it's important to have people accountable, and I need to have people close to me in terms of proximity, so I can make sure that they are accountable and that things are done in a timely, effective, efficient manner. And I don't think that's been done. So yeah, so audit process, that's been ongoing. I think we as a company need to probably adapt a lot. We have to adapt to the situation. We have to take a few punches. We have to recognize that we need to improve our systems to make sure that this doesn't happen again. We need to invest in more people to make sure this doesn't happen again. We need to make sure we have the right service providers to make sure this doesn't happen again. And service providers goes through our entire finance sector, finance team. So you will be seeing me react not in a proper way. You know, sometimes when people react, it's an adverse reaction. No, this has been something which has been well thought out over the past couple of weeks to see how we best position ourselves to deliver. But yes, once that is out and we resume trading, clearly a lot of news to flow based upon what we're doing. So guys, there's your updates. I hope they're well received. I'm sure there'll be more questions coming from them. Please guys, I'm trying to wrap up a lot of things here with the team on the manganese, on all aspects of our business. So, you know, we're pushing ahead on them. Let's get them done. Let's get resumed trading. Let's see this share price back up to where it's supposed to be. Let's get these cash flows generating and generating and generating so people can see we are a producer, not a would-be producer, not a pretend producer, not one that's got anticipation to being a producer, but we are each and every month producing a nice, stable, increasing cash flow that we're then using to self-generate the returns in our business. Grow the business organically through the investment in plant and infrastructure, in exploration and resource drilling and so on. That's the goal. That's why you generate cash flow, you know, to grow a business and to reward your long-term shareholders. So thanks again.